What's happening, y'all? I'm just giving you a quick live on the road because y'all know the road is my spot because that's basically the only thing I do. I'm basically an Uber driver. I'm not an Uber driver at all, but my job requires so much driving. I might as well be an Uber driver. Anyways, this topic is not a new topic. I saw this hours ago, possibly even yesterday. The way that this show goes without me being able to look back at the feeds and look at timestamps and I'm getting these little snippets of conversation, I'll be honest with you, it's almost like me watching BB Can when people would put the snippets up of the digital dailies. I mean, I know our feeds for the Big Brother US actually run for longer than that. I'm not going to say 24 hours, but I am going to say they run longer than the BB Can digital dailies. But still, I'm catching up on these 2 to 3 minute clips, which is just, I get the most. Like, the reason I hopped on today this morning at 5 is because I was able to watch a string of 2 hours straight of content, of footage, of conversations that I only got like a couple of "we'll be right back" screens, but I was able to watch a string of footage. Anyways, that has nothing to do with the title at hand. The little clip that I saw on X was of Tucker talking about how production called Kenney into the diary room and told Kenney that if he keeps talking about how he wants to leave and telling people to send him home, that he's going to lose the money that he would have accumulated to this point. So they told him to stop. Kenney, stop talking about leaving. And I was like, that's interesting because it makes me think about everybody talking about the invisible hand of production. Now, I'm very aware that any TV show, you're not, I mean, back in the day, because like I said, I have spoken directly to these older cast, respectfully, from shows in the 90s and the early 2000s and stuff that are in their 50s now, 60s, some of them. And they talked about, like, an example I always use is John Brennan. That has nothing to do with Big Brother, but just the way that these TV shows were filmed back in the day was literally you had a camera crew, and the camera crew would just hold up the camera and tape everything. And they would put anything out because it was just about the intrigue and the entertainment factor. They didn't care about so much about the social and political factors of it. It was just tape anything. So now the shows are highly filtered. A lot of things are cut out, even on a show like this, which has live feeds. And I don't know if I agree with them telling Kenney, like, if you talk about this anymore, you can get kicked off the show and not receive any money. Because the reason why I'm saying that, plenty of seasons that I've watched, I've seen people talk about wanting to leave the show. And I've even heard of, on my favorite competition show, The Challenge, I've heard of people that actually told their castmates, you know, I want to go home, so throw me into an elimination and I'm going to put on a show and I'm going to make it look like I lost in some kind of epic battle, but really I'm just going to give up so I can go home. I have a sick family member, a wedding to go to. I just don't feel like it. I'm not into it. Whatever it is, it's affecting my mental health, whatever it is. So I don't think that production should really be telling somebody that you cannot say that I feel like leaving because I miss my family and kids, my wife and kids. You know, I think that's kind of wild. I hear things about production with Big Brother that are just borderline, like, this is tampering. You know what I mean? Like, I know that there's some things that they have to do to protect the show and to protect their brand, but that seems excessive to me. And you know what I think it is too? You know what I think it is too? I think that they are very invested in looking at everything that we're posting. I think that despite the fact that I have no Big Brother interviews, well, I do have two Big Brother interviews, but that was after their 2 year period was done. So I think that they're highly looking at everybody's feeds. everybody's lives, even from mine that only has whatever 1,000 and 1,100, a little under 1,100. It's stuck there. To the people that have like 15,000, like Big Brother Boy, or like however many thousands that Rob has a podcast has, or whatever, whoever, and they look at X, and they look at Reddit, and they look at everything. So the things that people are talking about and complaining about, you'll see the show get altered based on those things. So I think that I feel like Big Brother is going downhill. I hate to say that because I know people are not liking me saying that, but I honestly feel like Big Brother is going downhill. It's going down a path where they think they can censor everything, but the censoring is really just making it worse, and it's making it hard for people to really invest and commit. I'm on the Marcast. Back in the day, yeah, like I heard about season 2 where the dude had the knife. I'm not even saying that it should go all the way back to that level of uncensorship, because at that point, these houses were unsafe. You know what I mean? I think it should be somewhere like a happy medium. I don't think you should be able to just do and say whatever, but like people calling for Angela to get evicted because she said crazy eyes, that's silly to me. People saying that Tucker should get evicted, because some people did say this, that Tucker should get evicted for like bullying Cedric. That's silly to me. You know what I mean? I could understand them talking to him and being like, okay, chill a little bit, but that's not really grounds for eviction unless he went up to him and he was just like, yo, I'm gonna F you up. You know, like literally. You better watch where you're sleeping. You know, we've had things. We've had things even pretty recently. Like you remember Josh Gonzalez? I mean Josh Martinez. I keep saying Gonzalez. I know a Josh Gonzalez. Josh Martinez, you remember his season? You remember how many people's faces he was in? You remember how much trash he was talking, the banging of the pots? You remember he was going at Matt? He was going at dude, I forgot his name, but the army guy who got married and had the kid. I can't remember his name right now for some reason, but yeah, bully is used very, 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 very loosely, and it's annoying. It's annoying, especially when I think about the era that I grew up in and the things that were not considered bullying that were actually real bullying. What is Cass going to get me for? Cody. I wouldn't have known his last name, but yes, Cody Nixon. I remember a couple of times when I felt like Josh was actually bullying him. Even though I definitely feel like if they had a fight that Cody would win that fight, I felt like Josh was going to extreme lengths. I always confuse Josh's last name because I know somebody long term that I've known since I was 14, 15 that has a different last name. So that's the reason why I keep confusing his name. It's actually somebody I know with that name. But yeah, I think the production does too much. I can say this on my channel, and I know that a lot of other people can't say this on their channels because of their potential ties to CBS or, you know, contracts they have, things that they're not allowed to say. I have nothing that I'm not allowed to say. And they can't take down my videos. The only thing they could ever take down my videos for is if I had their content in it. But me just sitting here and talking, I can say anything I want about CBS. And I say all that to say, I had an interview that was locked in with somebody. It wasn't locked in via CBS. It was just locked in directly with a person that I am cool with on that cast, on that Big Brother cast. And it was all set. It was the next day. I made all the questions. And then they showed me an email, and the email was like, just reminding you, if you do this and this, it's going to be a breach of contract and you risk being sued. So before you can do this interview, we have to scrub his page and decide that the page is acceptable. And then from there, um, if we decided the page is acceptable, sorry about that, I'm hungry. This is my first time eating in hours. If we decide the page is acceptable, then we'll have a production member sit on your Zoom to make sure that nothing is asked that is inappropriate. I was like, wow. At that time, I don't even know if my channel was monetized. And I'm like, that's a lot. I had a tremendous amount of fun at Oz's party, Mike. I had a lot of fun. But more day one than day two. I told her. I told Hannah that, I told Ozza that directly. I was like, Ozza, I love the day one venue because the day one venue is at this place called, you know what? I feel like this is like performance anxiety at this point because if I was not on this camera, I would be able to tell you the name of the place. The Ainsworth. I have these, like, if I was just having a conversation with somebody, I remember these names like really quickly. But then when I get on here, I'm like, man, this whole live thing, seeing that live button makes me forget everything. But yeah, the Ainsworth, it's an amazing venue. It has amazing food. This year it was not overcrowded. I wonder if they sold less tickets this year than last year because the first Big Brother party I went made me not want to go to another one because we were packed in there like sardines. This one I could actually maneuver my way around. I spoke to every single one of the cast. My favorite cast, everybody knows my favorite cast from any of these shows. Big Brother, The Challenge, Survivor is Hannah. And the reason why is because Hannah is the most like regular and down to earth, and I mean that in the most complimentary of ways. Because there's certain people from the cast I talk to from Big Brother that is like I'm talking to a character. Like that's how I felt about Blue. I mean, I'm not saying that Blue wasn't cool and fun, but I don't know how to describe it. Like there's certain people you talk to, and they're talking to you about regular life stuff. And there's certain other people you talk to, and it's like, hey, I'm such and such from Big Brother, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, are you a real person? Because you feel like a Disney character at this point. So I have fun. I have fun at Oz's parties. And what I like, it might sound like a little thing, but it's so cool for me because the first year that I met Ozza was 2022. The first year that I met Ozza, Hannah, Tiffany, Big D, all these people, 2022. And I just met them, I saw them, I spoke to them, it was cool. The second time I saw them, I was like, hey, I met you before. Hey, guy. That was the response, like, hey, guy. And I'm like, guy, like we sat and spoke for a while, but then again, I know they go to fan events all the time and I'm just one person. But probably like the third or the fourth time I started to see them, I walk in there and they're like, hey, Mark, how you doing? Long time no see. How's the podcast going? Whatever, whatever. So I'm now kind of regular-ish. So if I ever did decide to really give up covering the show, honestly, I would probably still go to those events just for the fun of it. And it might arguably even be more fun without the responsibility of having to try to record. Because when you have to record, it becomes a job when you're recording footage. Yes, there's parts of it that are fun. I'm not going to say It's not fun. It's like almost like being a media. You know, I'm not a paid media when I go there. There's actual paid media that gets paid to be in there and gets paid for the night. Shout out to them. I would love to do that. I would especially love to be those people that stand on that red carpet for them and it has a microphone and they get those exclusive interviews from the cast. I would love to be that. But again, the same problems that I face in work are the same problems that I face in this setting. And I'll tell you what those problems are. Mark is not politically correct. I've studied all the other pages, all the other relevant reality TV pages. I've watched all their videos. Not all their videos is in every single video they post, but I've watched at least some of all the prevalent content creators' videos. And I realize that they have a deeper level of politically correctness and a little bit more tact than I do. And that's just me in general. I can't sugarcoat. I can't exclude things because I need to exclude these things to, get myself into a certain space. I mean, to an extent, I can do that. But if somebody came to me and said, "Hey, Mark, you can get these exclusive interviews as long as you don't ask any of your questions," I would be like, I want the interview not just so that you can see me talking to them. I want the interview so I can actually ask the questions that I want to ask. I think that's at least half of the reason why my Sam from the Circle interview is my favorite one, because I asked Sam before we started the interview, "Is there anything that's off limits for me to ask you?" And she was like, "Nah, ask me anything. I will answer anything that you ask." And I was like, "Anything for real?" She said, "Anything." So appreciate that, Mike and Ma Cash. Yeah, so that was just my feelings about production, telling Kenny that he's not allowed to talk about how he misses his family and kids and wants to go home and see them. Otherwise, he's going to lose his money and get sent home. That's wild. That's a wild threat to me. That is a wild threat to me, and I would feel offended. Cass is late because honestly, I'm just finishing the topic. Cass is the new Lisa. Remember Lisa last year, where I would be on here for like an hour and a half? Actually, forget Lisa from last year. Lisa from my music and mental health channel. I would be on here for like 4 hours. I would say I have 5 minutes and I'm leaving. Lisa would magically show up in that 5 minutes out of that 4 hours. And I'm like, how in the world does she time this? Oh no, Cass was here earlier? Because she didn't comment. I don't see anything from Cass in here earlier. Production said we're sick of his ish. They did. And people are complaining about it online. That's what I was saying earlier. People complain online, they read everything. They probably have a hired team. No, that's what I was saying. Lisa was doing this last year. I addressed Cedric versus Tucker Chocolate, but since you're here, I'll give you a brief rundown. I did address this in 2 different videos, but I'll give you a brief rundown. Tucker decided that he wants to ensure that Quinn gets out of the house. So Tucker, when he won the power of veto, he talked to Kenney and Cedric. What are they called again? The Shake It Up Alliance. What were they called again? Because I don't think that's a thing anymore. They were called the Shake It Up Alliance. So they're like, "Oh, we got to shake things up and make things interesting because everybody is playing it cool." So Tucker was like, I really want Quinn to be out of this house and I want to flush out his power. So Tucker was like, I'm going to take one for the team again. Again! Because think about this. Tucker volunteered himself twice to go on the block. Tucker won himself off of the block twice. So instead of just being like, hey, I won, I'm off the block. Listen to this. This is how arrogant this man is. I missed whatever Ma said. Oh, has a maternal clock at the end of your life. Listen to how arrogant this is, right? Instead of just asking them, okay, I'm going to take myself off. Please put Quinn up. No, he wanted to be on because he was like, I stand the best chance of taking Quinn out in the AI arena. So he was willing to put himself in danger because of his ego. Because he's like, I can beat Quinn in any one of these competitions. Why risk yourself, man? I mean, thank you for all the drama that you provided, but why risk yourself, man? That makes no sense. So then Cedric tells him in the morning, we don't have the numbers to get out Quinn. He doesn't know why. He doesn't know why they don't have the numbers, because if he knew about the collective, he would know clearly why they don't have the numbers, but he doesn't have an explanation as to why they don't have the numbers. He's like, F it. I don't care if we have the numbers, I'm doing it anyways. But Cedric did not tell him that he was going to put up Quinn at that point in time. He might have said it the night before, but at that point in time, something obviously changed to where he told him, take yourself down, bro. And then later on, when he decided to put MJ as the replacement instead of Quinn, Tucker was furious because Tucker could not control Cedric's HOH. He confronted him. Tucker confronted Cedric. And Tucker was like, yo, you blindsided me, bro. Just know that I'm coming for you. Next week, like, I'm going to get off this thing. I'm going to win the AI tournament. I'm going to win the HOH next week, and you're my number one target. And he had some few choice words and F-bombs for him. So that's where we're at right now. Where we're at is that Cedric is now like, ooh, Tucker is a priority to get out. Quinn is like, Tucker is a priority to get out. We don't know so much about the others, like Joseph, Brooklyn, even though they were assuring Cedric. We don't know about Cam because he's flip-floppy, wishy-washy. We don't know about him, but we're seeing whether people are going to stick to their guns in their alliance and actually back Cedric up to make sure that Tucker goes, or, well, Tucker also has a chance to win. So, and then also we don't know who's going to be the third pick for America's veto, because that could make a difference too. We have bright warm colors. Do you like having the C as your profile pic? You blindsided me, bro. You blindsided me, bro. What do you think of my, like, greenish tie-dye-ish sweater? I actually wore this to a visit because I just didn't feel like dressing up today. Cass will stand behind her man. Cass will stand behind her man. Yeah, I like the orange color. Shout out to the orange color. Chocolate. Chocolate. I gotta shout out Chocolate because Chocolate is an OG mod. And because I have to shout out all the OG mods, there's two of y'all. All two of y'all, Chocolate and Lisa, are the OG mods. There was something else that I was gonna say. There's something else that I was gonna say. America's veto. Yeah, America's veto. We could get. There's so many different options that we could have for America's veto, but I see steam picking up for Quinn to be America's veto, and Quinn is on my draft board, but kind of for the drama, I kind of would like to see Quinn up there, just to see Quinn beat that behind of Tucker and humble him. I want to see Tucker get humbled so bad and sit next to I guess he would sit next to Kenney. Ooh. Hmm. I kind of think he would win against Kenney for some reason. You're welcome. Salute. Talk about how Angela's gonna end up in the final three. I mean, I can't deny it. Is it still muted? Sound? Sound? Check. Thumbs down if there's no sound. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs up, you can hear me? Hear me? Somebody called, so that's why I'm asking. If you can hear me, throw a thumbs up in the chat so I can know. Okay. If Cass says I'm good, then I'm good, because Cass would roast me if I was not good. Now I believe it. What's up, Sarah Lowe? Ma would lie, so I don't believe her. So where are we at? Hold on. I'm muted. I'm muted, bestie. Hey, Joy, I haven't seen you. I don't. Have you made one of these lives before? Joy, I'm actually gonna jump on challenge fans, not challenge fan, the challenge all star chat right after this. Of course, Ma would say that. People keep joining. I was about to leave. This is gonna be like a 5 minute, 5 minute thing, but people kept joining. But I'm gonna be off here in the next 2 minutes to make a cool 30, and then I'm hopping off here. If anyone happens to be on my Facebook group, the challenge starts. Oh, you can listen to them afterwards. Well, thank you for being part of the replay crew. Yeah, the challenge preview episode starts tomorrow 8 p.m. So I'm gonna be. Ooh, that was a big lightning strike. I'm gonna be on there. I'm gonna be watching it, and I'm gonna be recapping. So I'm excited, except I don't like the fact that they're on at the same time because I don't like having to choose between Big Brother and that, especially because Big Brother's Wednesday episodes are the best episodes. Lightning one time struck a tree in my backyard and set it on fire. So, oh yeah, because I usually see you in the comments, Sarah. I usually see you in most of my comments or in a lot of my comments. So the name was not unfamiliar. Why are people joining right now? When I say there's 1 minute left, all of a sudden like 4 or 5 people joined. It was scary, and then when I called, it was like, let me see. I'll show you guys outside really quick. It's not as bad as it was. Hold on. Oh, can I flip this here? What is happening? So StreamYard does not allow me to flip the video. Okay, like I lied. I gotta just turn the whole camera around. You know, like it's a cloudy day. dark and cloudy day. Okay, y'all, I reached my 30-minute quota. I'm everybody's bestie today. What's going on? All right, y'all. So I have feeds to catch up on. I don't know whether that'll be tonight. You know what? I feel like because I am not going to be able to do this like right after the episode Wednesday, like I usually am. I'm right around the corner from my house. I'll be careful, but I'm literally right around the corner from my house. But um, because I'm not gonna, I don't know. I decide everything at the last minute, so I'm not even gonna make any promises. Thanks for joining me here. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let me know what you think of the State of the Union of the House in the comment section below. Talk to y'all later.